Welcome back to Hanging with Heavy, tips and tricks. We're going to tie a knot, we're going to tie a jig head. So what we're going to use here is a clinch knot. It's an easy knot to learn, basic, simple. It's not the strongest breaking strength knots that's out there, but it's one of the easiest to tie. Most everybody that's ever, when you start out, most people learn the clinch knot. There's the improved clinch, some, it's a variation. There's a trilene knot. They're all kind of the same kind of thing. So we're going to take our jig head. This is a 3/8 ounce jig head, Mexican flag color. We're going to tie that, put it on there. If you get it, as long as you get this knot clinched down, you usually don't have any problems with it. So it's it's just a single pass through, and then you're going to make some twists, and then bring the tag end around. So you're going to come through the hole of the jig head and bring it back. Give yourself a decent amount of tag end, and then we're going to rotate it towards your main line. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do 6. This is a 30-pound test, so 6 is usually more than enough. You're going to come back through towards your jig head into the eye. Don't want it to roll over. I want it to try to start to cinch down. See how it twisted itself? That's what you want. And then I wet it out. Surprised we don't get lead poisoning from putting all this stuff in our mouth. So then we're going to reach down, pull on the tag end with our teeth, and slowly work the knot down. It starts to bunch up. You want to just start to slowly pull it, keep pulling. You want all these to lock in. All of them to push down and lock in. And that's where you have what you have. It's basic clinch knot. You can see where they all stacked up. There's nothing, they're all uniform. They're all stacked up. You got your tag end. Make sure it's pulled down tight. I use 30 pounds, it can be a little heavy. You can use 20, 25 with this one. Always trim it up close. Use 30 when you're fishing around jetties, docks, from the bridges. You want to have some abrasion resistance. Well, it's a good little knot. I like the way it, for using it especially for jig heads, tying lures on and stuff. I don't usually use it for any kind of hooks or anything. But that's putting the jig head on. We'll do one more. Just go around to the other end. So you got your jig head, come through the hole. Right that way. Give yourself a decent tag end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come through the loop, and back through. Start to straighten it out, let it twist, pull it down, moisten it up, grab the tag end, and just let it pop down. If you have to pull it with your hands to pull down on the knot to seat it, but you got to make sure it seats so it won't pull itself out. So there you go. It gives it a little bit of moving on there, but you really don't need it any more so than that. Take your tag end, trim it up tight. I like it tighter than that. On smaller eyes on these kind of things, it'll cinch down fine. Sometimes you'll find it on real big, wide kind of loops or stuff on some of these bigger jigs. You got to make sure that it seats down good. So there we go. We got them both tied up, and then that's your clinch knot. And then from the clinch knot, you can do an improved clinch where you go back through the loop. We'll explain that another time. But that's a clinch knot. I use it for jig heads. Use it for a couple different things. Plug in, and such. So it's a quick knot to learn, and as long as it's seated, it's a really good knot. It's not a, you know, some people frown upon it or whatever, but if you tie it the right way, it's a good knot. It may not have the breaking strengths that a lot of them have, but you know, it's a simple knot that can be tied, and you know, as long as knots are tied correctly, you know, and seated properly, they can be good knots. Some of the knots that are 100% breaking strength, sometimes if you don't, you know, you got to be more careful at tying them. So you know, sometimes learning that simple clinch knot is one of the better knots to use. So that's been a tip and trick with hanging with Heavy, brought to you by boatloans.com. For all your marine financing needs, please go visit boatloans.com. Whether you're buying a new boat or refinancing the boat you have, check out boatloans.com. And as always, have a great day.